from one car maker that's struggling to another that's hoping to get back into gear. We are talking about the Volkswagen Group. Its global development head Ulrich Hackenberg was here in India. Sandeep Shrikant caught up with him for a quick chat on their short-term and long-term plans for this market.
Dr. Hackenberg, welcome back to India. And what brings you to India this time around, sir?
It's the Asia Pacific Conference, and I had the opportunity to join it. The theme we are discussing at this conference is quite interesting. It's the steady urbanization in Asia megacities, and I think the megacities in India are quite a good example for that. If you look to Bombay, if you look to Delhi or the other, Bangalore for example, there's a steady urbanization. People are coming from the countryside to the big cities to find a good job, and that makes the city areas growing more and more. And for the traffic, it's a problem, and it's very important to discuss how it's been organized for the future.
I spoke to you for the first time, I remember, just before Volkswagen launched the Polo in India.
Yeah.
You're back in India now almost 3-4 years later. It's been a difficult year for VW, for the VW group as a whole in India and really the auto industry as a whole. So what is Volkswagen taking from this, and what is the plans for the short-term future for the group in India?
I think it was a very interesting phase. First of all, to create a factory, and more important to create dealerships. Actually now we have around 100 dealerships in India, and we are in a phase where the product is in the market, the dealers are there, we have a lot of customers, and I think it's the right time to make a kind of consolidation and to increase the whole process, the whole quality of the process, the quality of the service, of the after sales and so on. So I think there's a lot to do. We can optimize everything, and that's a phase, the consolidation phase we are in now.
And there's been some talk in the Indian media over the past couple of weeks that VW plans to bring the Cross Polo into India, or you're looking at other smaller SUV options. Is it now a case of new models or consolidating with the models that you currently have, sir?
I think actually it's a time of consolidating, because we have the factory and we have the technology which is placed in the factory, and this has to run now. And there's much place for improvement. For example, based on a Polo to make a small derivative, it's possible to do that, and we are thinking about that. But it's not the right time to say, okay, we need completely new models and we have to change the factory. That would be wrong.
There's also been talk about a 1.5 litre, new 1.5 litre four-cylinder diesel engine for India. Looking back now, was the 3-cylinder 1.2 litre engine a mistake for VW, because it doesn't really live up to the standards that Volkswagen has set for NVH levels in India, and it's been perhaps a source of trouble for the Polo especially?
I think a 4-cylinder, the customers like 4-cylinder, that's right, and so we can react with 1.5 litre. 1.5 litre is right because of the taxes, which will help to sell cars with such an engine. So we are looking for that, but we also are looking to make an assembly of such an engine in India, because that will help us a lot to find the right cost configuration and to have some advantage in selling the cars.
Talking of the two brands, the two mass brands that VW has currently in India, you have Volkswagen and Skoda. Whereas globally you've managed to differentiate both those brands very clearly. Is that a matter of concern that in India, once the Rapid came in, for example, the Vento sales dropped a little bit, that the brands aren't as distinct as you'd like them to be?
We have to see that in total. Because Skoda entered the Indian market as first brand of the group, and has a quite good image, a good position. And then Volkswagen entered as a second big brand, and we had to find the right positioning between both brands. If you see the success of the Vento and the Rapid, you have to see both together. And if you add both, I think it's quite a good success. So I think it's the right way. But there's still place of improvement. I think it should be possible to sell more of those cars, because the cars are quite good and have a very good recommendation at the customers.